Good morning, everyone. It's so good to be with you. Oh, I got stuck building a big deck over the weekend. I just didn't get in here, but I will get caught up. Listen, I really appreciate all your time you're taking to learn. It is an extreme pleasure to deal with you YouTubers and all that. Um, You've done well. You're pulling yourselves down a long road of growth and learning and awareness. It's just amazing. Your spiritual sides are growing. You guys are shining like light bulbs in the darkness, like suns in the darkness. You guys are incredible. So keep it up. For those that are in pain and are suffering through them, just keep hanging in there. Know what your goal is. Know why you're in pain. Understand the acid side of chemistry and the fact that you have two fluids and one of them is the bad boy. It's a good boy because it's there to protect you, but it's a boy that if it ain't flowing good, it ain't happy. We're not happy. That's Mr. Limpy. Listen, Anthony, shout out to you, man. I know you're thin. This guy is, 5'7", 110, 115 pounds. Got heavy scarring in the lungs and stuff. This is all acids. Acids scar you. Acids burn you. Acids break your cells down. And so this is all about it. I don't know what to tell you to eat outside of fruits and berries and melons and salads to get a hold of the lymph, to get the stop the scarring and to eventually get the scarring to chew up and be gone. Let alone get proper absorption. When you get too skinny when you're on these programs, you're malabsorbed. You got to remember the GI tract and the lymph system in man is literally horrible. We have horrible GI tracts, we have horrible kidneys, horrible adrenal glands, and horrible lymph systems. So we just got to make them right. We got to go back and make up and correct a lot of things in our bodies so we can have more fun on the rock. So this post is from Health Song. Thank you very much. This is our one of our year's anniversary. That's pretty good. I think it was a good decision to do this. I think a lot of you hopefully are doing much better because of this, so I'm so happy that I did this YouTube for you guys. I think it's time we take over the world in our understanding and start healing people up and making people feel good, and everybody grows spiritually and love starts infiltrating our world here. While we're here, it's better to enjoy where you're at and have some fun. I always thought creation's more fun when you're having fun. This is German Eichelt. Even though this might seem a bit off-putting, but when I found out what glandulars were, I wondered if a testicle glandular would be good for infertile men. I'm thinking so. I think that's why you have gonadal tissue there in glandulars. I think all that's worth a try. I've never really used those much. I'm pretty kind of staying with my little adrenals and pituitaries and pineals, but I've used brain, I've used different ones. I mean, when you've got people really in trouble, I think these are excellent tools that we can use, considering all life is karmically bound here. And, I've talked to a lot of masters in my lives, and I've been in a lot of levels of creation, and you have to understand that some animals and plants are happy that they're here to give you themselves. You just you have to get out of the body to have a much better understanding of creation. When you're trying to judge creation and you've not had conscious experiences out of the body where it becomes part of your consciousness and an awakening, I'll say, because you're not learning anything that you don't already know. It's just sleeping in the back, and just you start to understand the interaction and love that life has for itself. Like I said, I've been back into plant life, and I know exactly how plants think and feel. And I've talked to people that have been in animal bodies. I can tell you a case in Mexico where close to Mexico where a man, I was doing a lecture on out-of-body travels, and this man every night found himself back in a lion body, a tiger body, and he could feel his paws, and on the wet ground he could feel the hunt. He had total recollection of a lifetime he was in a tiger, and he was a Mexican man. And I said, well, I can help you stop that. And he said, why? I love it. So he loved the kill. I mean, it was amazing to hear his story, but I've heard hundreds of stories like this. So there's so much more than what we think we know. There's just so much to creation and God, and it's so much fun. There's so much more fun than what's this world offers us, just to have a few material things. You know, the less material things you have, the better you are, guys. So don't try to have so many material things. They are nothing. They mean nothing. They're just things you collected dust on. But I think that's a good take, my friend. I would use some gonadal tissue, testicular tissue for sure. Definitely help inspire and increase the function of. This is Dottie Daniels. Will you be doing another detox classes? You are now sold out. September. We've already got September a third full. So you can talk to you. I told her I wouldn't tell you, but I've opened up September for another class. We used to do these classes every quarter, and then I went down to every 6 months because it is a lot of energy out. So, but I'm getting, you guys are getting me excited again. So I think we're going to do another class in September. You're welcome to participate in that class as well. This same young man here, well, I'm just going to call you German. German. Thanks, Doc, for answering your question. I didn't get the burning all the time, just recently, okay. 100% with some tonic herbal extracts I've been adding to my smoothies lately. That's a good idea. I think they are detoxing me, and I figured the burning sensation was from sulfur in my bowel since my stool seemed a little orangey. Yeah, exactly, right on. You guys, I love about you guys, you're really seeing reality right now. You're seeing some of the things I've been talking about is manifesting in you. You're right on, German. You're dude, you're doing it, man. You're really good. And that's just what's coming out. And it can cause a little gassy and a little bloaty too as it comes out. There's, you know, we got a lot of stuff in it. Just talked with a great YouTuber right there. You know, a lot of anxieties, but then remember, stomach. We've ingested a lot of chemical crap out there. Look at all these. I see these kids taking these drinks that are purple and different colors. Imagine all these dyes and stuff we're pouring down us. I mean, I feel sorry for these kids that are eating all this candy and crap that's just, I mean, loaded with all kinds of paraffin and dyes. I remember when growing up, we had those little paraffin-filled, Kool-Aid-filled paraffins or whatever, and yeah, you know, like for Halloween and your flutes and your... I mean, no one told us this stuff was chemical and toxic. I mean, you didn't think about it. Just the way you just, here it is, you know. Thank God we're waking up to these things. I look back, and as a kid, I was pretty stupid. And like, hey, this is good. Trip beds, 420. Hey, man. Wow, this makes so much sense. Oh, I'm glad. Every time I try to detox, I get overwhelmingly painful. And I was just talking to this young man about that, too. You're going to have pain wherever you have weaknesses, and if you have your eyes, and we're going to have a whole day of iris work, of course, and real simple, really, once you use the eyes, you'll see right where you're going to have discomfort. Just wherever you're weak in your body, it's going to pull it out and make it strong again, and that's nature, and you're taking your body to that, so you're going to see a lot of aches and pains here and there, and some people extreme pain. I've had people have extreme pain, and it's like, I don't know why. You know, we can use castor oil packs for the painful areas, or any kind of oil that's very helpful, antacid, anti-inflammatory stuff, things like this. But You know, it's just the unwinding of the weaknesses in the clock, and as we've been talking about in the past, bringing you closer to the causal blueprint, bringing you to a more vital, healthy example of what, true vitality is, I guess, I don't know if there is a ceiling or what that is. We're as Homo sapiens, we're coming from a very inferior position because we're having to deal with all these genetic weaknesses and the high level of toxicity from the milks and stuff. So we're having to undo all that, let alone get up into these higher levels of where humans should be getting already. We're kind of stuck at the physical level. I think even in our thinking, man is stuck here. I mean, there's all these dictators and all these governments who are seeking more power. I don't know what it's the negative powers, and these people are just becoming victims of control of negative powers. Whether they call them lizard people or not, reptilians or not, these are all representative of negative powers. Narcissistic views, controls, doesn't care if others are in pain and suffering, and all this kind of crap that's out there. We are the warriors. We're the love people, and you can be a warrior and do it with lots of love. Because reality, nothing dies, and man has to this level of creation. It's time to come up. The pressure is amongst us spiritual people to be spiritual and to bring love and compassion and understanding, but at the same time, strength. You don't have to be inferior and feel like you're too passive. You can be strong and demand truth. You don't have to Gandhi it. You can do that. You can do that. Nowadays, they don't deal well with Gandhis. If you're up in a tree sitting, they'll just cut down the tree. I mean, this is the sort of thing, I thought it was interesting that I don't know I think he was a Marine, but he put on his website that he will not take action against American citizens. I wonder what he heard. Detox, I get overwhelming pain from where I had my wisdom tooth removed. Yeah, because see, again, it's about acids, and now you look at modern dentistry and your younger dentists now talking about acids all the time instead of bacteria. Bacteria's got a bad rap because allopathy's theories have just been so stupid. Get into the reality of acids and what acids decay and break down, and of course all this lymph toxicity in these jaws and things. If they just pulling a tooth doesn't fix, it's like removing a tumor. Pulling a tooth, removing a tumor, you did not fix the causative problem of that. You did not clean the lymph system, and you're going to have that acid still in there now working on the gums and bone. So it's just looking at that. I was on anesthesia during the surgery and took a Vicodin for the pain. My body never had the chance to heal. Yeah. Part of healing is mental. I never fully healed from the pain because my mind wasn't never aware when it happened. Interesting thought, absolutely. And of course you got pain trapped in cells, memory pain. You see that a lot. So cells can hold memory just like everybody else, and you'll see that in our class. We'll talk more about creation and how it's put together a little bit. And once you understand that, it really gives you a foot up. Because I've studied, and we were talking about Seventh-day Adventists and stuff. I've studied just about every teaching out there, not the newer ones, but the older teachings that's been around them all levels, and I can just tell you, we've figured out how creation is put together. And so, at least to some degree, and it's a good idea to have that understanding. It really changes your perception of even who you are, and I think that's important at this time, is to unleash the Drakens. Unleash yourself. Unleash yourself as consciousness and soul, and not trap yourself in physical bodies. These are just things you're using, vehicles you're using to move you around here, and not very fast at that. That's why man has such a passion with motorized vehicles. I never fully healed. My mind wasn't never aware when it happened. My nerves still have that memory. I would love to learn more about this. Well, that's what detox is. Don't worry about it, my friend. That's what detox is. Detox will take that memory pain, it'll show it to you, and then bye-bye, see you later. And the causative factors in there, and you're cleaning out all those acids, and it's a win-win-win for everybody there, absolutely. That reminds me, someone asked me somewhere here about PDT or something, TD or something, therapy for cancer. And so I hadn't heard about it, and I looked it up, and I said, are you serious for asking me that question? Here it is. This is from BT, UANT. It says, I surfed around the internet and came across a cancer and other acidic diseases treatment method called phytodynamic therapy. Holy crap, did you look that up? Oh, it's a chemical, and it's a chemical type of chemotherapy. A treatment that uses a drug, and it underlines drug, so you know it's not what you think it is. It's not a machine introducing phytoenergetics. It's an actually drug called a photosensitizer or photosensitive agent. And this is wacky, and a particle type of light. When photosensors are exposed to a specific wavelength of light, they produce a form of oxygen that kills nearby cells. Well, the problem with that is targeting just the cells you want to do, and then no realization of the acids to it, and the damage to other cells is obvious here. You have the chance to damage groups of cells, even though they like to make you think targeted. Whenever a medical doctor says this is going to target just the cancer cells, start walking backwards and then run for the door, because I've had people with brain cancer and other cancers that will disagree with that theory now, because they were told targeted radiation for different cancers on the head wouldn't give them brain cancer, and came into me later with brain cancer, where I guess they must have lied. Or they were lied to by some whoever created it, or some CDC center. Again, nothing, lies, 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 lies. Another question was out there was about colonics, and I had never heard of this, particularly in Guadalajara, Mexico, where they were using this ALPISTLE. I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce that one either, so we looked it up. And holy crap, they call it canary seed or canary grass. And supposedly, it's got the silica fibers and everything, and I'm thinking, holy crap! If you screwed up and didn't get the rare breed that didn't have the silica fibers, you could really hurt your GI tract. I don't know if you studied that or not, but holy crap! These silica fibers are like the as asbestos, similar structure as asbestos, and I'm thinking, holy crap, we would put that in our bodies or in our bowels, and the chances, there's only a rare breed of this that doesn't have the fiber to it, and I'm sure that's the one they use, right? But the chances, I was studying this a little bit, the chances of getting the one with the silica fibers are high. That'd be dangerous. That'd be scary. So yeah, I'm real cautious with what we use to help you get well, because you don't have to grab all these bizarre things out there that has the potential to hurt you. You don't have to do that. There's detox in a civilized manner, and so I think it's good that we be civilized, that we be very cautious, very smart, because we have another responsibility, in my opinion, and that is to show other souls on this planet that we are ethical, that we are extremely knowledgeable, that we can take, we're one of the few people that can take a human body and make it well, and that we are based in science. We're also based in spirituality. We're God people. We're based in all facts, and that we have ethics, and that we're not just a bunch of ragtag people with bizarre ideas and everything like that. I think that we need to examine everything we do, because one of the worst things for me is to know I hurt somebody. That doesn't fit in my shoes well. So if someone gets hurt with the herbs, which we never really see this. Now, we had one guy take, I think I found this with ginseng, but his blood pressure went up real high. Now, he could have had higher blood pressure and didn't know it. I wanted to talk to him. He called me on one weekend here, and yeah, this is him right here, a Ouija bird. And he had rang me Saturday evening about the bleeding eyes. His blood vessels were so intense that he was getting a little bleeding out of it. I think it could have been ginseng in the adrenal formula. It could have been the licorice, so we got him off of that one. He went into the emergency room. I haven't read this here. Let's see. He had vertigo. So he had pressure up in the head area here. And again, you could even get that if you were so locked. I mean, your body was locked, lymphatically speaking. You could get on some lymphatic herbs and stuff like that and maybe have that just from moving of lymph with absolutely nowhere to go. So you could have that in the lymph. I was looking at the herbs in the adrenal form, which I love them all, but I've never, ever had this symptom in 40 years. So sounds like high blood pressure. I'm curious to what they found here. You never called me back, man. Had vertigo for a week before this. So, all right, so you had vertigo for a week before this. Pressure, he had pressure in the left eye and in the brain, left brain hemisphere, had vertigo for a week. So you had a lot of lymph pressure all in that, and that's just what that is. But that also created, this cerebellum here can create very high blood pressure as well. My legs were really puffy, hard, and stiff. That's after he took the adrenal tincture. Now, good question. I've just never seen it. One herb in there, probably your body just didn't get along with. And that's rare. That's extremely rare. But it does happen. You got to be prepared for that, because once in a while there's a rare case. And then some people, this guy is very nice. Some people get mad, and it's like, hey, you know, you've got a world of millions and millions of people, and everyone's different. And we're doing our very best. So once in a while you'll have a symptom like this. But this, I've never heard of a symptom like this from a formula. But, you know, it's possible, but never heard of that. The ER said it sounded like a subconjunctive of hemorrhage. I researched this and found high doses of ginseng, garlic, cayenne, ginger, or blood thinning medications could cause these blood vessels to burst. Well, I'll say this. It had to be some high blood pressure for the blood vessels to get expanded like that. Also, if you had a little bit of a parathyroid weakness and your connective tissue is weak, capillaries bleed all the time. People get a little bleeding nose, bleeding out of the lungs. That's common stuff. It's common and it's common and can occur by sneezing or blowing nose too. Yeah, I've seen that too. I have been taking lymphatic kidneys for 3 days and added adrenals on the 4th day. I noticed the legs swelling that day. Yeah, that's your adrenals. So again, pull off the adrenals there. I've decided I was going to take ginseng and licorice out of the adrenals just because of the controversy there, although really good for the adrenal glands. And we'll leave those as side herbs on that, and then no one will have a trouble with that. And no one will get confused if they have high blood pressure. Don't take licorice. Because if you had high blood pressure, man, and you didn't know it, you thought you had low, but it was really high, the licorice would make it go a lot higher. And that would be problematic. Sometimes we think we have a blood pressure, and you could have a cerebellum. Sounds like this is where you're having a problem in the cerebellum here, and taking licorice could increase that pressure, and it was the licorice, not the ginseng. So either way, you're going to have to come off, and that's where a glandular would do you so much better. That's why I put people more on glandulars. But I've never had trouble with my adrenal formula. Let's see. I am 24 male, long history of anxiety and depression. So there's parathyroid right there, and there's your adrenals. So right there shows you already had a weakness in the capillary walls, when I was on psychotropic meds for 3 years. Well, that's why. That's why right there. Cold turkey now, have low bicarbonate hydrochloric acid in stomach. That's why you don't eat any protein. Bicarbonate actually comes from the pancreas, so you can work on your pancreas there a little bit. Stomach pain for 8 months, chronic condition. So this is where your anxieties could be coming. We were just talking to a young lad, the same problem. He's had a lot of anxieties. He didn't have any nerve rings in his eyes, but his stomach looked black, and I said, "Hey man, you got something going on in your stomach." He said, "Yeah, I've been noticing some stomach." So the stomach, remember, is the seat of the autonomic nervous system, and you could really, all these chemicals that we're ingesting, all these dyes, all these neurotoxins. I mean, this stuff gets in the stomach wall, it stays there, and this could be an exacerbator. This could right be where your problem is. So this is why I'm doing stomach and bowel number whatever. I'm doing lymphatic 1 capsules or lymph node 2 capsules, and the GI broom or some type of cleaner on top of that, and really trying to clean up that GI tract tissue. Real important. It sounds like this might be where you're getting your anxieties. Depression is going to be coming from the parathyroid, which is right up here in your head anyway. So you can see with these different cases that we have different situations with everyone here, and you just work through them. You work and you work and you work. I try to weed out any herbs that might cause even one person a problem, but again, never in our life have we had a problem with the adrenal formula. First guy in 40 years. But I don't want other people to have that. I suck that adrenal gland formula down and love it. But you have a lot of pre-existing problems here, man. You got a heavy lymphatic problem, this whole left side of the head area. You've definitely got something going on in the stomach that's suppressed hydrochloric acid. Bicarbonate's going to come from the pancreas. You could have plenty of bicarbonate and low hydrochloric acid, which again, you want to stop all protein anyway to get well, and so you just have to avoid all protein. Now think it's endocrine weakness, all connected, absolutely. And remember, the adrenals control this autonomic system right down here in the stomach area. Pituitary, adrenals, pancreas, stomach, kidneys, backed up lymph. I think you're right on board here, man. Currently waiting for a medical synopsis on my digestive issues. Get me a picture of your eyes. That's the best diagnostic tool. It'll save you a lot of time and dyes and stuff. Is just get an up-close picture of your eye. We can see your stomach and everything right there, bro. Thinking about doing a fast, boy, I would, and really start cleaning my lymph, because you got to get all this pressure out of here, because this could take off anytime. This pressure could happen to you anytime. And if you're having with this depression and you've been on psychotropic drugs, it tells me you have very thin capillary walls. That's why you got bleeding out of them. And I can tell you that leads us to nothing any good. You want to bring up your parathyroid, get calcium utilization. Therefore, your vascular walls will strengthen. No more bruising easy or bleeding like that. You want to do that. Clean up your gut for digestive reasons. Let's see, thinking about it. I read somewhere where this happens to diabetics too, and is the cause of their blindness. What is? I am unaware of being diabetic. I have been on a low-fat, high-fruit, low-veggie diet for 3 months. I do not have a pint of juice for 25% beets, dandelions, nettles, and 75% orange once a day. Well, that's a butt kicker. Nettles could thin you out a little bit there, capillary-wise, probably. Could build some pressure there, but alongside a diet of mainly watermelons, bananas, dates, and oranges. Good deal, man. Would be great to hear your advice on my situation. I have noticed my energy levels have been dwindling lately. That's your adrenals. Well, as you start to clean out all these acids and all the chemicals that would stimulate, acids can stimulate as well as break down. So I've seen it either way. So once you get all these cleaned out of you, you'll be good, man. Every other day I have some sort of detox symptom. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt. It sounds like you're pretty toxic there. Give me a picture of your eyes sometime. We'll go over them. I'll read them on the line here, and I'll show you what I see here. Whether it be here. So here's some of his things here. Appendix. All right, so you know that he's that he's backed up all the way up the tree, right? So you see that. Vertigo. So here we go. You got a lot going on in this cerebellum, and I think with that adrenal and this cerebellum, that's where your pressure, and I say more licorice gave you more pressure there because it increased blood pressure, and you could have low blood pressure one day, man, and the next minute have high blood pressure with this cerebellum like that. It's a swinging blood pressure. Can't treat it. You just got to get that lymph moving out of the head where you get all the inflammation and swelling out of those tissues, and you'll be in good shape. low energy. There's the adrenals, headaches, and again, all this pressure and congestion and spasticity, anxieties again, going back to the stomach, the autonomic and adrenals. I woke up and my eye had cleared up, but now as I write this, the pressure is back along with vertigo and okay. So here's the thing, I definitely go on a fruit fast. Forget the vegetables. Matter of fact, you might not like vegetables with this kind of pressure. Matter of fact, I would get rid of all the vegetables and spend yourself on the next 2 or 3 weeks on a fruit diet. You're going to really get this. You're going to see this going on and off. And when you start detox, you start moving things. You want to keep detoxing, keep moving, because if you stop, you're going to stop in limbo, and you could have this going on and off and on and off like this. So you really want to move lymph and get your system moving as fast as you can there, man. I definitely put myself on a fruit fast. So I'll try to get Chris to get this up soon as possible for you. And love you, man. Hang in there. You're doing fantastic. You just remember, you've got a lot of lymph going on up in this head area, and I sounds like you got something going on in the stomach, no question, kidneys and adrenals. So really just shake that body clean. You guys are learning how to clean up some of the impossible things no other doctors could do anything about. So hang in there, keep working this journey, and you'll be well. But I would do the Ouija board. I'd definitely put myself on a extended fast on the fruits and the berries and the melons. This is Be a Go 76. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you for the spring of knowledge. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dan, Dan the man. But thank you for coming aboard. I hope this knowledge or information is good for you and it'll help you. We're on a planet that's almost an impossible dream. We got a lot to do, a lot to help people wake up, and so whatever we can get done, you guys are going to take it a whole nother level. That's what I'm doing this for. I want you guys to be the next Dr. Morris. You guys take off and let's get this world cleaned up, and then we can go have fun in some nirvanic city of jewels someday, and we'll sit around and laugh about the journey of soul through creation. Gargoyle, Gargoyle 900. I am at my wit's end. I have a connective tissue problem, namely disease. See, I hate the word diseases because it traps us in to thinking we've caught something, we got some disease that's going to ravish us. Let's look at what's not working in your body. When you have a connective tissue problem, that means something's breaking down your connective tissue. What could that something be? Well, there's only two sides of chemistry, and there's only two major fluids in the human body, of which all cells partake and dip into. And so this shows how acidic you are. This is Peyronies, disease. I haven't a clue where to start. I have been eating a mainly raw diet for 6 months now. Plenty of fruit and greens. Which herbs can you recommend? I honestly don't know where to begin. I am fairly new to your video channel, but it makes 100% more sense than, yeah, I have to tell you that much. Well, I have to say this. Remember the parathyroid. We've been talking a lot about the parathyroid because that's how you utilize calcium. I would definitely start hitting on that. Use a glandular, if you will, and really hit that, because when you're in a stat need like this, you got to move lymph and get your body utilizing calcium again, because you can re-strengthen connective tissue. Very important, or you start scarring. So this is real important that you get your lymph moving, and view these videos on how to move lymph and the protocols we recommend. But you're just, when you realize how interconnected everything is, you're going to go into the GI tract, you're going to go into the kidneys, you're going to pop up the endocrine glands, at least the adrenals, and for you, the parathyroid gland. And really start cleaning these acids out, so then connective tissue can get strong again, because I've never seen connective tissue that you couldn't repair and rebuild. I've never seen that. So as long as you can get the acids out of those areas, if you can't get lymph moving in an area, then you can't expect changes to happen. You can't expect a symptom to go away or a tumor to come out if you can't get lymph moving in your body. They're just not going to happen, because that's a causative factors. If you can find others, let me know, and we'll sit around them in a campfire and talk about it. But this is really the main issue that we all suffer from. And so getting into that lymph is real important, but also being aware that some of your glands excuse me, that are supposed to perform for you is not performing good for you. And that would be specific adrenals and parathyroid. Get the kidneys filtering again, and you'll be in good shape, and you'll correct yourself. So hang in there, dear one. This is KSOE Berg. Pretty flower. I love those. I love those things, don't you? They're pretty cool. They were growing all around Indiana. I forgot what you call them. You know, those little things you blow them. They're round on a stem. I forgot what you call those things. See, if you don't lose it, you lose it. So what's in a name anyway? The problem for me doing all fruit is that I get terrible hunger after 30 minutes. Well, do some vegetables then. It depends where you're at and how fast you need to get yourself well. Definitely do your vegetables. Work with your GI tract formulas, your lymphatic capsules and stuff, and clean your bowel up and get better absorption. I think once you get good digestion, make sure your pancreas is digesting, your liver's breaking down your fatty acids and stuff, or your fats, things like that. Absorption, really key to get absorption. The only way you're going to know about that, I guess, is picture of the eyes. But if you get good absorption, then everybody's good, and you won't get so hungry. I notice people on raw. I mean, you're getting more nutrition than you ever have. You're getting more electrical energy than you ever have, but people feel more tired and more hungry. And that just shows you that, one, they have a lot of candida, two, they're malabsorbed, they're not taking stimulants, so their adrenals are down, and blah, blah, blah. It's on down that road of thinking. But take care of all those things, and you'll be okay there. Or well, yeah, you want to deworm yourself because you just never know. You know, spending a good month on Parasite M&G, look at Hilda Clark's program, it's so-so. And then you had, what was her name? She passed here a few years ago. Hilda Clark passed too, but Hilda Clark, I mean, you know, a cure for all cancers, a cure for all HIV, and you'll notice if you read her book and you know what you know now that she was way off point. She was just following down the medical thinking. But, what is her name? Can't remember, but man, she had you take them like 20 or 30 of the, like the Parasite G capsules. Like, holy man, I did her protocols. But you know what? You will get plenty with Parasite G and M. Deworm yourself. Remember, you could have a malabsorption going on there. Definitely get the lymph moving, so all of that's out of there. Clean up the stomach a little bit, and because the stomach, you know, is a funny place. When it's irritated and stuff, you can feel hungry, but it's not really true hunger, like you said, some false hunger here. So, you know, just clean up your body, detox your body, and see how you get. Suck down some green drinks if you have to for energy and stuff, but you know, just keep cleaning. That's all I can tell you. Just keep cleaning that lymph out of that body, and you'll pass that curve, and then you'll start absorbing, and everything is good there. Let's focus on detoxing. I invest a lot of time watching these videos to learn about detoxing. I understand what you're saying, and I do get carried away sometimes in other things. This is ORTHOSR, so rich. Yeah, I agree with you. I just get carried away sometimes, you know. I'm going over these so much and so much and so much to you. This information is so redundant to me that sometimes I get caught up on a tangent, but we do have a lot of suppression here, and I was going to show you this because this was a comment about constitution. And I want to show you, and I've showed you this before, but I want to show you the difference between strong constitution and a weak constitution. And they do come strong and weak. If you're unaware of this science and you're unaware of working with people by the thousands, then you don't understand constitution in terms of genetics, cells, and how that interplays. But I'm going to show you. One is a 90-year-old lady. Another, that's a strong constitution. The other is a female, and I've showed you her eyes before. She had a cervical cancer at 30, thyroid cancer at 34, and came to me with pancreatic cancer at 30. She had the thyroid cancer at 32 and the pancreatic cancer at 34. And it just shows you the difference between someone with a weak constitution and someone with a strong constitution who's never had a problem in her life, and she's 90-some years old. This other would have been dead long ago. She's still alive, doing well, but I saw her eating pizza the other day, and yet she overcome the worst cancer you could ever have. And in terms, pancreatic cancer isn't the worst cancer you can have, but the type she had was degenerative pancreatic cancer, meaning that your pancreas is literally falling apart. So if I can hold these up, this is a strong constitution. I should have them in here helping me. See all those strong fibers? Look at an eye like a wagon wheel, where the pupil, the black pupil in the middle is the hub, and there's spokes that emanate all around from this pupil. Just thousands of these little spokes, referred to as rods and cones, but rods and cones are actually deeper, but these are part of the fibers. See that strong fiber there? And then here is the opposite. This is a blue eye, supposed to look just like this eye, but it looks like this. I don't know if I'm out of focus, into focus, so I apologize. See how all these fibers are like webs, almost like a kaleidoscope of webs, and nothing, no straight fibers whatsoever? That's a weak constitution. You're going to see the difference when you work with each one of these types of people. You're going to love these people, and you're going to have a real pain with these, because there's a lot of work to go back and get to the blueprint. So I've got to kind of cut off here, so I apologize here. Let's see. Hi, Shannon. Let me see here. If spots are still full, oh, this is for the... So I've got to kind of cut off here, so I apologize here. Let's see. Hi, Shannon. Let me see here. If spots are still full, oh, this is for the class here. This question was an interesting question. This is neural interface. I like that. I like your name there. What about spices? Oh, what about spices? You know, what broke me down off of the raw foods was Indian food. I had had nothing in my life like that, and there was just some kind of magnetic, like, oh my God, and it would just, my body would hurt. I spent hours in pain, and I hurt, but it's like I couldn't stop myself, but I knew I had to come off because I was so out of balance. I mean, I just couldn't deal with humans. And so I knew I needed to come down, and boy, I love spices, turmeric, cardamom. I try to find spices like cinnamon. When you call me in a stat emergency, I try to see if you have cayenne pepper, whether you have cardamom, whether you have cinnamon, anything to work as an anti-inflammatory or to open and dilate, to move blood around quicker, anything like that. So yeah, absolutely, all your spices. That's when you open the door to nature, it's the biggest door we got. It gives you access to everything, from essential oils to spices to flower essences. That's the kind of chemistry I don't mind, when we're playing with what the Supreme Being made and we're not augmenting it chemically. We might be refining it or tincturing it or finding some way to make it palatable and to serve up to the multitudes, but we're not destroying the context, the structure, or the magnetics of it. We're not heating it, cooking it. We're not doing anything in that way. We're processing it in a way that has minimal destruction. And I say this, and your herbal teas can really knock you for a loop, and they're cooked. So that's the power of the herb, basically. So yeah, I should, sometime I'll do one on spices. I'm limited in my understanding of them too and what they're all good for, but definitely I'll show you the ones I use here. This is Joy here, wants to know via YouTube vid, honey and royal jelly, is their pH really 3.2? I didn't know. I don't think royal jelly's pH is 3.2. I don't know that for a fact. You know what's hard? What's hard is to get factual pHs of these, because you have the pH of the food itself, and then you have the ash afterwards. That's some of the understanding. What I don't think medical doctors understand is the predominant ash after digestion is also a big factor in how you see acid alkaline base. So it's also about the ash as well. And, you know, you look at your amino acids and all your nitrogen foods break down into a very acidic ash. Is dried fruit okay? Absolutely. Dates, figs, we love all those. Dried bananas. Like I said, I used to sell a lot of carob-covered bananas, pineapples, and papaya. The problem is, when I owned health food stores, I could not eat them. They were so good. Carob-covered pineapple, carob-covered papaya, carob-covered bananas. I used to buy crates of them just for me. And that's what happens. And they're raw, but the carob, yeah, okay for to store for long periods of time, somewhat. You know, you always store in cool, dry places, of course. Do you store food in case of disaster? You know what, I used to, a lot of years ago, I used to carry those freeze-dried organic packages, and there are companies that make some real wicked freeze-dried foods for storage. I just, you know what, I don't care. I don't have no reason to stay on this planet. This is my journey. You guys are taking it and going, so I really don't have any desire to try to stay here. I don't care what happens, to be honest with you, so I don't save up anything. I don't really care. I'm an old Native American guy. I'll go into the woods, see you later. And not next life either. So that's just some of the things there. But you could, if you wanted to, definitely. You want to get your freeze-dried foods, though. It's the only real way. The trouble is, they're only always so good. But there are definitely organic people that make good freeze-dried packets out there. Yeah, I wanted to do that week Constitution, but I have to run now. And so treat others as you would be treated. Apparently, we're all in works in progress. M-I-K. You know what? That's it. And I don't harbor anything to anyone. We are just, that's just how it is, you know. And I think we've lost a lot of the way parents raise kids and how to be ethical and respect others and stuff, because I tell you what, if you didn't know anything about proper manners and proper etiquettes and stuff like that, learn karma. Because and it's just physics. It's just what Jesus said. You reap what you sow, and for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. It's just learning the fact that what you put out there, the way you carry yourself, is what you're getting back. You put out love and joy and hug, that's what you're going to get back to yourself. If you put out anger and unhappiness, is what you're going to get back to yourself. And I have to remember that when it comes to you know, the way these some of these souls have controlled others' lives on this planet. You notice how one person can control thousands of lives? Now, that's amazing to me, how we can let one person control so many people and hurt so many people. Sad thing. Well, you all have a lovely day, and if I have a no-show this afternoon, I'll tear it up, and through this week I'd like to really catch up here. And I hope that this finds you well. You're not too mad at me for not getting back faster. It's just that sometimes I've got other things I've just got to do to get a break from this. You know, I've been living this all my life, so sometimes you need a break to get a fresh air, to get away from so much intensity of problems and suffering, you know. Just to keep your sanity. So I love you all, and you take care of yourself. I'm always here for you no matter what. You can always find us, and we're always here to help you. And have fun yourself today. Take this day for you, and enjoy yourself, and be happy with yourself, and learn how to give others a hug. Just start hugging people. Once you meet somebody, hug them, you know, and just show them a lot of love. So here's a lot of love to you guys. Bye.